Generally I get guys who interact with me, okay, online, both in my WhatsApp groups and emails and messages. Very rarely do women or young women get in touch with me. But when they do, it's always something very serious or genuine. So I got this series of young girls. I don't know from where they came up, all that. And they asked me questions about, what advice would you give us, and career, and so many other things. So because I realized, okay, some of these girls asked me questions, I decided to make this video about my advice to girls or women. Now, I know it might sound very funny or ironic, or you might even say, like, what the hell do you know about women? Fair enough, I'm not a female, so I obviously can't state that I know everything about women, but one area which I can give you advice is a man's perspective and experience with women. And mind you, I've been a playboy before, so the very fact that I was able to, for lack of a better term, was able to exploit women in the sense that when their emotions and feelings, and obviously I was a young man who wanted sex and affection, love and attention, I managed to get quite a number of women, even though I wasn't rich, even though that time there were no social media apps. So anyway, I'll give you the advice, what advice I would give young women. But I really sat down and thought to myself, if I'm going to give advice, it's not fair, it's not right that I'll just say, hey, do this, do that. So I sat down, and you can see these, I have a few points written here. I sat down from last 2-3 nights and I asked myself, if my daughter came to me and asked me, Dad, what advice would you give me in life? What advice would you give me to succeed or to be careful about? What would I tell her? I guess that is where the most genuine, heartfelt piece of advice would come. So in this video, I'm going to give you a compilation of my views, and feel free to agree, disagree. But one thing, let me tell you right from the outset, the advice that I'm giving you is from an Indian upbringing, a conservative kind of lifestyle with a kind of Western or modern outlook. So you may not agree with everything I have to say in this. All right. Given that I gave you such a long explanation, let's start. See, the first thing I would tell my daughter or any young woman is life is going to be tough for you. Okay? Life is going to be very, very hard. And see, as it is, life is not fair. As it is, life is tough. For men, it is at this level. But for women, it's a totally different level. And it's a different kind of toughness. Like, for example, a man or men have to work to provide for the family, take care of themselves, their testosterone, filled and competitive in nature. And it's, like hunter-gatherers. But for women, there are a lot of things that work against them. Now, if you check channels like Ben Shapiro or Michael Knowles or Candace Owens, they'll say, no, women don't have any. Even Jordan Peterson says, no, there are no challenges and women have equal opportunity. Yeah, but if you look at it from a global perspective, that's not the case. Like in India, for example, Okay? Women don't have equal opportunities or equal. The rules are not made equal for women. It's very unfair. Society, tradition, religion, expectations. It's so crazy, man. So the first thing I would tell my daughter is, see, listen, life is not fair, life is hard. But for women, it's even more harder. And I'll give you one example, one very powerful example. If a man makes, in a relationship, if a man makes a mistake, that is, the relationship is wrong, the price he has to pay is heartbreak or being alone. Okay? But for a woman, if she makes a mistake in a relationship, she doesn't end up with only a heartbroken or, feeling alone. She ends up with a child. That's why they say, man and woman can have sex. Man will never get pregnant. Woman will get pregnant. You might say that, there is family planning and, yeah, but the chances, if in case it does happen, it's a woman, right? It's never the man. And the second problem is a woman being a mother, because the baby was in her stomach, in a womb, not stomach, in a womb. I used to always say stomach before, until a few years ago. Because the baby is in a womb, she endures the pain, she endures the suffering, she endures the agony. There's so many changes in her hormones, so much of challenges she has to face. She's literally carrying so much of weight on her back and all that. And she has to be careful, and giving birth is super painful. And then after that, that bonding that comes. This is my child. I see that with my wife, when they especially breastfeed, and they love that creature, Men, I'm not saying men don't love their children. I've seen so many fathers very loving to their daughters or sons. But the way a woman can love her child, no man can. The amount of sacrifice and, like for example, a woman giving breast milk to a child, man can't do that. A woman understanding what the child is going through. It's a woman who does not sleep in the night, has to take care of the child, who is 24/7. That sensitiveness of a mother. Like a father is always strength, but a mother her love is something else. So, that is what I would tell my daughter. The second thing, so if you make a mistake, the price to pay is greater. The third one is, see, society now, they have a different set of rules for men and different set of rules for women. It's very unfortunate, but it's a fact. Example I'll give you. In India, a boy can have sex with so many girls. He's called a stud. Wow, like, man, he's so cool, he has so many girls. A girl can be with or a girl can be with only one guy. And society looks down on her. Some of the terms the boys in my groups use, second-hand furniture. It's a sad thing, but sometimes even I've used when I'm having a brutal argument with a female. And then there are these other statements. One guy just posted on my video where I spoke of marriage. He's saying if a key can open different locks, it's called a master key. But if there's a lock that can be opened with any key, it is, useless. What is trying to say? Key is man for penis, lock is woman for, her private part, vagina. This is how the society trains. And you have other aspects like men always want, people have told me, aren't you planning to have a boy? Aren't you planning to have another child? Why? I asked them why. No, don't you want your name to continue, the Machedo? Because after she marries, there's no more Machedo. So there's always that thing, oh, you can, if you have a boy, you can continue the name. If you have a boy, you have a man in the house. And especially in India, there's always this pressure for women to have a boy. And in so many cases, if there are so many cases which are happening even today in India, where if you have a daughter or a female, the girl, the woman who gives birth is beaten by the in-laws or the husband, or sometimes they're even forced to abort the baby just because it was a girl child, you know. So societal pressure. Then you have this cultural and traditional, this thing, always a man comes in the front, man of the house, you know, those phrases, while a girl is supposed to behave very shy, girly. Like, for example, my daughter, she likes all girly toys, she likes all, you know, pink stuff, and she's always blushing, she puts makeup, and nothing that I've initiated. My daughter, I don't know how, she just gets drawn into all this. And obviously my wife is, you know, she's a friend and she helps her put a little makeup here and there, go for dancing. Sometimes my baby, my daughter, she'll come to me and she'll blush and she'll smile, and you know, I'm like, what the hell is, like, why is she blushing? What is she trying to tell me? And then my wife will come in, oh, she's just put on a new shoes, or she's put on a new hairpin, or she's come to show you, and then oh, wow, so beautiful, so nice. So my daughter blushes when I say beautiful and nice. So it's not only the cultural aspect, it is, you know, inscribed in their DNA. So, and also remember this, if a boy were to play, jump around and fall down, when he comes crying to his father after he got hurt, the father or the mother always says, you're a man or what? Come on, stop crying, you're a man. Okay, stop being silly. But if a girl falls down, you know, the parent also, oh, my poor baby, where you got hurt, my gentle little thing, my sensitive little cookie, and something which I don't do. If my daughter falls, say, get up. I don't pamper, I don't baby her. Yes, I'm always on the lookout to protect her, but I tell her to be independent and strong. You fall down, you get up, and it's okay to fall down. So yeah, that part is also there. And also remember this, being a girl with society, tradition and culture, you also have girls being exploited. That is why, as a father, see, I was sexually raped and molested, but for a girl, they endure this kind of you know, evil much more than boys, much more. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen to you know, children who are males, but it happens a lot more to girls. That's why I've made it very clear with my wife that no man is allowed, no man or woman or anyone is allowed to touch the baby without my approval. The only persons who are allowed is her sisters, not even their husbands, and her mother. And if anyone drinks alcohol, straight no. And even when they play together and all that, I'm very particular. The baby wears clothes, and you know, children, some children, I don't know how the parents allow them to run around naked and all that and play naked. I tell my wife, always make sure clothes. So yeah, there is that level of sensitivity which women have to, women are expected to maintain, you know. Then the third one is like, no, fourth one is the expectations, which is very tough, yeah. Like I told you, girls are expected to be shy, girls are expected to behave in a certain way. Like, again, example in India, a girl can go out, a boy can have girlfriends, girl cannot have boyfriends. A boy can go to a pub, he can ask his mom and dad, can I go to the pub and drink with my friends? The dad would say, okay, yeah. You'll never hear parent have this conversation with their daughter, or a daughter saying to their mom and dad, I'm going to the pub with my friends. At least Indian. Western, okay, it's a totally different culture and mindset. But remember, we are talking of the majority. The population of India is nearly 1 billion. So, and if you take in Asian countries and all that, it's not acceptable. Like, for example, here in Thailand, yeah, girls do drink. There's a lot of, females who go into prostitution business and all that. But I can assure you this much. No parent would encourage their child, especially a girl child, to get into this unless and until it is, poverty where they can't even, earn money to eat food. They have no choice. Otherwise, parents don't want their girl child to be exposed to unwanted men. Like, even for me to talk to my wifey, she took permission from her parents. But if it was a boy, it wouldn't happen that way. So the expectations that girls will always have through society will be a lot more restrictive than men, and a lot more tougher. The next one comes social media, and this is a big problem that they're facing today. You see TikTok, you see Instagram Reels. It's become so disgusting, yeah. Girls wearing, like, they'll only cover with a small cloth or bikini just their vagina or their nipples, and they'll just keep shaking, and sometimes they'll wear a loose shirt and then suddenly they lift the shirt to show their breasts. And the problem is the sexualization of girls. So how does that impact women in general? It's a sad reality, but most men, majority, who view such content, they will view all girls in the same way. And this proves to be a hurdle when they want to get jobs, when they want a relationship, when they want to get married. They'll always be evaluated in the lens of sex and being sexy and physical attractiveness. That is why you'll always see a man, he'll not be attractive because he's focusing on his career and he's focusing on things that, earn money. But a girl, if she wants a good partner, if she were to focus that kind of crazy amount of time being full day in the office, she'll gain weight and then nobody would want to marry her. So a girl has to take the tougher route of keeping herself fit, making sure she looks good, attractive, not having a stressed out face. Why do you think so many men, like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, see they got their wives pregnant? What is the age of their wives? Granddaughter. But have you ever seen a man with a lady who's his grandmother, like old enough? Yeah, there are 1 or 2 rare cases, but it's not every day, man. Majority of the cases you'll see a man who is average or out of shape, but very rich, but with a girl who is physically very attractive. Like, even for that matter, me, when I got married, I was 125 kilo and fat and bloated, and I was nearly 40. My wifey, she was like 40, 45 kilos. She was thin. She looked young. So I got married to her because she was petite. She was young. She was, like, as I would put it, coachable. I wouldn't want a partner who is old and fat and argumentative and, not submissive. So these are the things which make it very unfair. So if my daughter, let's say for example, were to she has a choice to make. Career, okay, and how long, or relationship, and then there is no how long, So she has to make a tough choice. So if she chooses career, she goes down that path, then obviously she will educate herself and she'll get an MBA, she'll get a good job. But then getting a partner will, she'll always want a partner whose levels higher than her, which make it more tough, which make it more competitive. On the other hand, if she was simple and she didn't have any high standards, maybe it would be very easy. Like my wife, she was already married twice, and both the times, because it failed, and because she went through abuse and all that, she decided, okay, I no longer want a guy who looks handsome or young or looks like a BTS boy band. I'll go for a slightly older man who doesn't look physically attractive but has his values in place. So her expectations were low. So my daughter, she would have to decide, okay, where is my expectations? And then always keep in mind, for a woman, if she marries a guy with lower earning capacity, whom she has to take care, tomorrow when she gets pregnant, how will the man support her? Is the man going to sit at home and take care of the house and she has to go to work? You have to define these rules and roles, which is not easy, man. I'll tell you that much. A girl's dream husband is one who's working, one who's providing for the family, one who tells her, don't need to worry, I'll take all the stress on my shoulders, I'll earn the money, you just focus on taking care of the baby. That's what my wife does, and she's very happy. She doesn't have to worry a single day where the money is coming from or what she has to buy. All that I take on my head. So this is another area which a woman will really have to face, and choosing a partner becomes very, very important. And remember what I told you, once after you get married, if the marriage doesn't work out or the relationship doesn't work out, the guy normally is scot-free. He doesn't have to take care. There are many countries in the world where the child by default has to go to the mother. So the husband can still enjoy life. However, in the US, they have this rule where you have to pay alimony, even in certain Muslim countries. But yeah, we can say that women abuse that benefit to the point where they're asking millions of dollars just to give a lifestyle. But that's a topic for another video. So, but in majority of the other countries in the world, if a man breaks up with his wife, he doesn't care a damn, yeah. And there are many who are absconding fathers. What do you do, yeah? And then remember, on top of that, the other challenge. When you have a single parent, the child grows up to be a rebel because it's always searching for a role model and doesn't listen to the mother. And the woman faces more problems there, more issues, more headaches. And then I think the next point is the biology. Females, their health is very sensitive, from getting their periods to, they have to go for regular checkups. Like I've always told people, the best example that my Filipina girlfriend gave, the best analogy about the female genitalia, it's an open wound. It's a part of your body that is open, where it's like it has not healed. It's a wound that is forever. It can get infected, And if you actually look at it, yes, it's an open wound to complete insides of your body. So it's very sensitive, and that is why they always have to go for checkups, medical checkups, and medicine, and just make sure they are okay, which a man doesn't have to, And then testosterone. Men have loads of it, and that's why they are strong physically. Their bones are thicker, muscles are bigger, health is more powerful. recuperation is higher, and the immune system is stronger. Women, on the other hand, much more weaker, timid, and physically not strong. They'll never be at the same level field. Yeah. So physically, that's another problem, and also in terms of youth. Women, see, men, they can always go for TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and get back in shape and look younger. And even if a guy's face is, not that attractive, he can look rugged. And by training his physique with TRT, he can really get it back muscular in shape. A woman doesn't have these options here. A woman cannot. Why do you think so many women go for surgeries? But that is not healthy. That is all artificial, like Botox and breasts and getting fat injected in different parts of their body and the skin. It's unless you have the money to go to the most expensive doctor, it'll backfire. And it's very, very difficult for women to maintain this. It's very expensive, by the way. And last but not the least, I would say that to my daughter, I would say that, see, you'll always be expected to make more sacrifices than a man. Whether it is relationship, whether it is your desires, whether it is your work. I know so many women who have to get up early in the morning, prepare food for the child, prepare food for the husband, prepare food for themselves, and then after that they have to dress up the kid, and then the father might go and leave the child, mother goes to work, and by the time she comes home, she's exhausted, but she just takes a shower and then prepares food once again. And I'm talking of average families, and then after that the family comes home, and then she has to take charge of the child and the child's education and learning, and be with the child, and by the time the father comes home, so woman, her work never ends, and end of the day, she is the homemaker. But given the fact that today expenses are shooting out of control, inflation is high, recession is setting in, it's not only tough for the man, it's even more tougher for the woman. And remember this, women being homemakers, they take a lot of stress, pressure, headache, but they don't show it, especially good women. So overall, what I would tell my daughter is, just be careful. Just be careful, because you have a uphill task, uphill battle ahead of you, and the biggest challenges you'll have to face is emotions, love, relationships, especially men wanting to get in between your legs. When they want something, they'll be extra sweet and nice, but when their stomach is full or they're satisfied, they'll treat you like dirt. In your career, you'll always face discrimination. I know so many cases where the bosses, they prefer a male candidate than female. It's like the boys like to, have a, kind of bonding. They don't want a girl coming there. And they might not say it, yeah. Nobody is going to admit this. They'll say, yeah, everyone's equal. And also keep in mind, because the biology of women is different. Like in some countries now, they are even asking for women who get their periods, they should take 2-3 days off or whatever. Men, you'll never see asking for all this. Men don't have these problems, men don't have these issues. And always remember what I told you. A female gets pregnant. Male never gets pregnant. So if she gets pregnant, she has to stay at home. She can't come to work. And because they give so much of their life to their children, they choose between a career and family. And that's why you'll not see so many women on the top. And the ones who choose not to have a family, those women are looked down upon, and, oh, you're not married, you're 40, when will you get married? They have to face all these problems and pressures from society. So overall, what I want to tell you is, my advice to women is, be the best of what you can be. Make your decisions wisely, choose wisely, and remember, there are only so many mistakes you can make before it all comes, catching up. The world will go crashing down. And be careful, especially of men and their agendas and their intentions. Don't fall for sweet talk. Don't fall for, something is too good to be true, no? They say. It's generally the case. And get yourself, if you can, someone who genuinely cares about you, like a mentor or father figure. There also it is challenging because a lot of the times when a female goes to a male, they can end up getting close and then another drama starts. So, but I'll tell you, if you are focused, if you really have the consistency, I'm not saying you can be a millionaire, billionaire, or you can beat up Mike Tyson or run faster than Usain Bolt or become the next Elon Musk. But you definitely can achieve much more than most men can. And I'll tell you one final thing. A woman's resolve is much more greater than a man's. And I would always tell anyone, be careful if there's a woman who's focused, who has the fire, who has the intensity. Because a determined woman, she can move the sun, moon and stars to achieve what she wants. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And you agree, disagree, and yeah, feel free if you have any questions. I would love to answer them. You guys take care. It's me signing off.